Yeah. Nah, man. You know we gotta do a joint for the ladies, right? So every club worldwide, we gonna move y'all like this. Come on. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey girl. It's Friday night when the club lines be out the door. Watch the silly.
All right, you ready for this, you guys? This is the last segment of the day. I want to sit back and still say, remember those lives lost on 9/11. Take those few seconds and appreciate the life that you have and every breath you take. This is a rollover from last week. Last week, I got you into the franchise films, movies all the time. The reason why I had to hit to this subject, because when we're not doing shows, one of the top subjects I know around Pack Cereal is what movies are out, which ones did you see, and we're constantly talking about them, always. And I said, well, you know what? It seems to be this group of films that keep giving you. So I decided to do last week with the first incarnation of the franchise, your franchise, all-time movie films. Now I give you data, but today, this is the second group. This is the group that not necessarily performs as good as last week's, and if you want to go check that out, you can. This is going to have a twist, just a little bit. Which one do you think will be moving forward as a success, more so, and be even considered one of the all-time top 1 or 2 franchise movie film sagas? And there's a surprise, and at the end we're going to find out what the surprise is. All right, Mario, this is not we don't rate 10, we don't rate nothing, but if you want to drop your 10s and 9s, you can. Just trying to find out how you feel about what you've seen. And the first one up, SpiderMan. Simple. 5 movie films under this group. The most successful is SpiderMan 2002. I was kind of shocked I thought they had more recent, with domestic earnings at $403.7 million just for this particular film. So nothing recently has performed as well. Although you get the idea that the way the marketing and the promotion go and how they make it like it's the thing, that 15 years is a long time. So is this a sign of, well, they got to come with something different? Because what I kept saying, they kept making the Spider-Man younger, and younger. I said, I don't know if that's working. So I don't know what it is that's not made it more successful than 2002. Is it an ongoing franchise that's going to rebound and have greater success, or is it just right now at where it's going to be? Nothing new, nothing extra. I know you watch it.
I think it's a franchise that's going to grow. It's going to rebound. I just think they're the victim of bad writing. They didn't write the best movies, and so therefore their scripts weren't good enough. And so they made movies that were average. They have enough to work with in the Spider-Man franchise that they can stick more with content that's already existed, at least to some degrees.
Right.
And because it does appeal to a younger group theoretically.
Yes, it does.
It should. I expect a lot from them traditionally. I would just say because the proof is in the pudding. When I think back to Spider-Man, I go back again to the 2002 film.
Yeah.
I go back to the early, because they were better films.
They just.
Yes.
I think the hard part about it is it's like with Superman, what they did in reverse. You know, you go back to Superman, he was a grown man way back in the day. They made him younger, but they didn't get him to go down to young. They stopped him at a certain time and said, we don't want you being Superman at 14 or 15. I'm not sure if that's it, or I agree with you. I think the writing hit.
That's how they're telling the story.
It is.
Spider-Man starts with a high school student. That's actually what the story
That's where
starts.
It's right.
So that's part of it, even though it's, again, how you write it. And then part of his whole mystique was that he was the youngest of the superheroes and a young adult.
Yes.
So, again, the writing, right?
Right.
And also of him, the issues of love and romance were always there, which to me makes it a easy crossover for the females.
Yes.
They managed to do it again with better writing, so they can still stick with some of those themes. His love life always was an important part of the comic book.
Yep.
It could be now.
And there's not as much.
Again, the more recent ones, I didn't really enjoy or watch. I mean, there's a couple of them I barely even watched.
Right.
So, they lost me so early on, I couldn't even critique it.
Right.
Just bad writing.
The total franchise and domestic gross, this is another number. This is the total franchise, has exceeded $1.579 billion. So it's a successful franchise, but we're talking about moving forward. Let's go to the next one. This one is very simple. We call it the Saga, Twilight Saga. 5 movie films underneath it. The most successful one was the Twilight Saga Eclipse 2010. It earned domestically $300 million. 2010 is this franchise come with a new group. They did spin this off. I guess they did go to TV and the whole thing. Have we seen the end of this, or are they going to bounce back and evolve it? Because right now, you don't know. It almost seems like, depending on who the main actor and actress, it's almost like it stopped. Is it because it may be suffering from so many other incarnations of movies with the same theme, underworld, the whole thing? Or they're just sitting and waiting their time? Where do you think this franchise saga is going, man?
Wow, this is one of the ones I think is a question mark. It could keep growing and moving. It depends what kind of leadership.
Right.
Again, because they have such a strong foundation. All they have to really do is do some good writing. Get some good writing, put some good name. I mean, the formula is there.
Right.
And you have the foundation. There's no reason why it should not continue and thrive, but yet to be seen.
Yeah, it's hard to determine.
Yet to be seen.
It's hard. I can tell you this much. It earned $1.36 billion. So these are successful models. So when you make that much money, divided by 5 or 4 or 6 films, I just always believe they're going to come back in some kind of way. All right, going to the next. This one is one of the ones I really said, man, where do they take this next group? Fast and the Furious. In a short amount of time, they have 7 movie film projects. The most successful, of course, the one that is the most recent, Fast and Furious 7, 2015, exceeded domestically $353 million. It has to go somewhere else. It was... It had all the elements of bringing everybody together, and then they add The Rock. So you got Vin Diesel and The Rock, who's basically going it's Vin's kind of.
He owns it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's
he
Vin's
owns the franchise.
Right, that's what I said. It's his baby. The Rock gets pulled in, smart. Now I have to admit, the last one, they did everything but shoot the aliens down. So I'm just saying, where do you go from here?
I think it still could go. I want to commend Vin Diesel on this.
Yeah.
I want to especially commend him on the work of keeping it going and the amount of money he's amassed. And I got to actually commend him even more because I haven't liked one of them. So it goes to show you, I hate this series.
Why do you
can't stand it.
What's up?
To me, it's for people who like fast cars and blowing.
What kind of cars do you like?
It's kind of light intellectually to me.
What kind of cars do you like?
I don't care about cars. I know. It's like I said, if you don't care about cars, I don't care about cars. Going fast or shooting them up.
Would you go?
So I don't like any of these. I haven't managed to watch even one all the way through.
Oh, wow.
So, but I want to commend him for what he's done. I don't have to like it.
Yeah.
I'm not big on Harry Potter. And you know what?
Yeah.
And a lot of people love Harry. I said, no, I'm not saying it. It's just some genres are not as attractive.
Yeah, I understand.
For all of us. So no, I think it could go more. Let's put it like this: Vin Diesel has already outperformed.
Yes, he has.
Already. That's why I'm giving it up to the brother.
Absolutely.
Because I don't like none of them. I told you, but I'm giving it up to his professionalism. As a producer, all of that.
Right.
Because there are other producers who do things like the Apocalypse.
Right.
That are just whatever, we can talk about that too. So I just want to say, it still has a future.
fast cars, hot women, and for the ladies, hot men. You put that in Cars, it really never goes away. Kind of surprising, Mario, that they haven't had more movies surrounded around that element until this franchise came out. That would be the focus, and it's done so well with the short period of time and how many movies they're coming out with over the short period of time. I'm already interested in where is it going from here, and will it continue? Because there's 7, and I'm literally going. So you just keep counting the numbers, and who do you add? And they can always bring in a twist, because the smart move is throwing somebody in the franchise who's up and coming that a lot of people like to see.
Well, yeah, the same reasons that make it successful are the same reasons that people criticize it.
Right.
It's extremely formulaic.
Right.
And predictable.
Yes, it is.
So that's again. So yeah, you can do that. Put Rihanna in it, or I'm just saying. Okay. It's cool. I'm just saying I'm not gonna be watching it.
Wait. Okay,
like
you guys.
Battleship. I didn't watch that. I know some of y'all loved it. Battleship, same kind of thing. I go like. Mindless entertainment that you have to be willing to intellectually let a lot go.
Well, the cast that's watching this show, if they are, just say, "Well, we know
same thing.
We're not going on that in that studio."
Same thing.
Okay, so here
they can say that about us. I
know.
Agree.
Hey, the total franchise domestic gross $1.29. Oh my God, $1 billion. All right, going to the next, which I really thought was going to continue. On and on. Lord of the Rings. 3 franchise films. The most popular, of course, The Return of the King was the last one. Domestic earnings at the time for that movie is $377 million. And the total franchise gross, I'm going to just get that in there now, $1.06 million, which is really a billion, of course. So here's the question. We ain't going to see this no more. Done. Because it's 2003, is it, man? That's 14 years ago.
Done. Because the main thing about Lord of the Rings was the filmmaker charted new territories, broke new ground.
Right.
He did a wonderful job. As far as I know, in the J.R. Tolkien group of books,
right,
there's a lot more literature. He had a bunch of books.
I know.
And they were some big long
books.
I didn't read all the books.
I couldn't even get it. So
there's more stuff to be done. Who wants to tackle that?
That's what I was saying.
Who wants? First of all, huge budget film.
Yes, it is.
So it really has to do with the studios being willing to make that kind of investment in these kind of huge budget films. And they were only going to do it with a certain director. But I'm not sure. I wonder why J.J. Abrams doesn't.
So nobody wants. So the question becomes: have we seen the last? No. Okay, that's what I figured.
There's too much more literature, and this really has to do with a financial investment in a product like all of them.
Okay, good. All right. Let's go. I'm gonna go to the next one. This one, of course. Very, very obviously a huge, fantastic, so many characters in this one. It's called XMen. 9 films and movies under this one. The most recent, the most popular, Deadpool, that released 2016, of course. Domestic earnings, $363 million. And, of course, their franchise total, which includes worldwide or domestic gross, is $1.8 billion. X-Men seems like it's on its mission that they have so many players in this. It's one of those movies that I didn't realize how many powers each individual can have. The power to wear a suit loose and fly. Everything, they separated everybody's niche, and to me, it has all the elements that it can keep going a long time.
Well, they had to rewrite it because some things don't transfer into our future. In other words, when the X-Men came out, our whole concept of science was different.
Right.
So a lot of the characters don't make scientific sense. In today's world, they design your heroes differently. They look at Star Wars, look at Star Trek. There's a lot of real science in today's heroes. Back in them days, a mutant made you control weather.
Right. What about Superman now? Can a cape make you fly?
No, well, the cape didn't make him fly, but the same thing applies to... The same thing specifically applies to Superman.
Right.
that he comes from, or the fact that he could just put on glasses and no one recognizes him.
Wait.
So I'm saying a bunch of those don't translate into today's world. They've done a great job of trying to make the X-Men transfer into today's world.
Right.
And so because of the way they've written it, you have, if you count the spin-off characters, well, who knows?
Right.
Because they have every kind of spin-off characters. They have like 3 generations worth of spin-off characters.
This will be. I'm gonna use this next week. You brought up a great idea. Which one of these wonderful adventures of the superheroes are more realistic in the future that can be accomplished?
Yeah, because they wouldn't create these today. In other words, if you were making up a superhero today, he wouldn't have wings, probably, or maybe he might have wings, but he definitely wouldn't have a telekinetic with the weather thing and all that other stuff, because you wouldn't think that's scientifically possible.
I understand. Okay. All right, not bad. I mean, hey, look. So the question is
shifting and all that stuff.
So the question is, oncoming onslaught of X-Men films, because it just has the elements that it can keep going and live off of different
because of the spin-off characters.
Yes.
Because the X-Men started when I was a teenager and went with like 3 to 4 generations. So they have a bunch of X-Men.
Yes, they do.
That they could develop each one into a character.
Absolutely. Okay.
And into a whole show.
All right. Next one coming up. Here's the next one. Simple. Because you're so spoiled by seeing this, you think it's more. Superman only has 7 movie films. But because they did so much in TV, it makes you think they've done a lot more in films. Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, of course, the most popular.
I couldn't get through it.
I own it. Wait, $330 million.
You told me you tried to watch it.
I couldn't get. Wait a minute, dude. I couldn't get through it. But wait a minute. It has $1.139 billion earned total franchise. This is the only one.
I like the cinematography.
I couldn't get to it. I tried to go. I'm not hating on it. I could not finish it. Until this day, I haven't. Every time I get there, it's long, right?
I haven't finished it.
It's pretty long.
I haven't finished it.
It's pretty long. It's long.
I don't know, because I didn't get that far in it.
Right. So here's the question. We don't even have to question that Superman is going to always be here, right? He's going to always. A new film, Superman. Because
they have the franchise developed. He's another example of a superhero that doesn't translate as well into today's time because of the total absence of logical science.
Right.
Like the ability to fly, for example.
Right.
But let's leave that alone for a second. Especially to be able to fly but have mass where nothing can penetrate you. That would tend to make you heavier.
Right.
A bunch of stuff don't make sense.
Right.
But the franchise is there.
Right.
They have a whole slew of written material that can be developed as movies.
Right.
So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just stick with the franchise.
Right.
Keep it where it is,
Okay.
Like Charlie Brown. Don't reinvent it. Just do it.
All right. Good. See, and we're about to, on this last one, here's the one I say is going to be a surprise player. This is the one, and then we're going to find out who we think is going to be the number one all time. Wonder Woman, which I watched. I have to admit, already accumulated $410 million earning domestically, $750 million so far worldwide. Watching the movie, I said, this is the start of a saga franchise. And let me say this.
Because it's a female hero.
Right. Wait a minute.
Focus.
And unlike many female heroes where they give them these powers that deal with not having muscular strength and everything, they tend to give them, she could be this or be that. It's almost like they transferred the whole gender thing. They just reversed it, which I said, go on with your badass. I like that. Go ahead. Put it down. And instead of the woman in the boat in the ocean, I'm only going to say this part. She comes up and she's laying out on the beach and the guy comes by on a horse and says, I rescued you. They just reversed it. Had the guy laying out on the beach and she comes and rescues him. Everything was like gender role reverse. It's a good, very well made film. Will they be a franchise force? Period.
Oh yeah, a lot of writing available in her. She had a slew of stuff as a comic book character.
Yeah.
So they have stuff to build on.
Yes, they do.
And you know they're doing the same thing as Marvel with the whole Justice League coming out next, which is like their Avengers.
Yes, this is to me the new kid on the block. Now, just hope the writing stays with it and the group stays with it, because some do fall off. Real simple, Mario. We're gonna go through this group real quick, and you pick your number one. That's going to be the number one out of this group franchise living on, in your best guess and estimate.
All right, we go up to the top. SpiderMan, Twilight Saga, Fast and the Furious, Lord of the Rings, the XMen, and Superman.
There you go.
Finally, Wonder Woman.
New kid on the block, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the franchises. So who do you think is going to be the one that's just going to like, hey, this is the player. The standard of this, watch this group is going to get better.
I think you have to watch Wonder Woman because of what it's already done.
Yes.
It may be a crossover with more females too.
Yeah.
We have to see. She certainly appeals to the men.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the ones to watch because it's new territory.
I absolutely agree. I'm totally in agreement that the energy and the buzz on this one, they got out of the gate well. Now, that doesn't mean, because sometimes it can fall on like certain franchises like Alien. Everybody said it was, after they got to the second film, it hasn't been the same. And they had to reinvent a different theme. And I don't know if it's ever out.
And funny how they're still making money off of that.
Yes, it is. And
series.
And it's not in the money earnings group. I have to do a third and fourth tier for them to be the player outperforming these groups.
But they're still compared to the masses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Well,
it.
It's okay to be number 10.
I'm done, you guys. HOtt PiXX. Franchise players.
All
Done.
right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Special love to all the Facebook friends. See you out there.
Yeah. Nah, man. You know we gotta do a joint for the ladies, right? So every club worldwide, we gonna move y'all like this. Come on. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey girl. It's Friday night when the club lines be out the door. Watch the